How's it going, everyone? This is Kay, and Yae Miko has certainly not received the best reviews, more so a mixture of good and bad on her performance. Maybe we all expected her to be broken, maybe meta players are still trying to figure out the best uses for her, or maybe she just isn't that great. Regardless, is she worth pulling for? So right away, I'm going to say Yae Miko is certainly not a must-have unit, at least for now, but the Fox Waifu isn't a completely trash character as some may say she is. So let's talk about her strengths first, and then we'll talk about her weaknesses. One of her biggest strengths is her elemental burst, which deals really good damage. As you know, you have to place all 3 Sakuras first to give her 3 extra lightning strikes, so 4 attacks in total on her burst, including her initial. With team support and buffs, she can hit close to 70k on initial, and about 86,000 for each thunderbolt, totaling over 300,000 on burst. This is of course if all attacks crit. Again, it depends on your team buffs. Some may hit for less, while some can reach 100,000 per thunderbolt, hitting over 400k, so say what you will about her, but her burst damage is pretty damn good. Where she absolutely falls flat on her face is consistency, due to high energy costs. You absolutely must have a second electro user for generating particles. Obviously, the Raiden Shogun is the best to help her in the ER department, but Fischl is also good as well. Her ER stats also plays an important role. Mine is at 120%, and when using her with the Raiden Shogun, I didn't really experience too much energy problems. Of course, I'm not spamming Miko's burst every time the skill cooldown finishes, but it appears when I need it to. I should mention I'm using the Witch Sith Catalyst, which is the best weapon for Yae Miko, aside from her main weapon, the Kagura. She benefits greatly from all 3 effects. Now, if you are using this weapon, don't just hit EEE, Q, EEE. Ideally, Miko should be in slot 1 because you don't want her weapon effect to be active just yet. The boost lasts only for 10 seconds, which isn't long. Use your skill to drop the Sakuras, switch out to your supports and use the buffs, or whatever attacks you want, then switch to Miko, and then she'll gain the weapon's boost, drop burst, and reapply the turrets. I mean, you can start with a different character, switch into her for her weapons buff, drop turrets, switch out to support, and back to her for burst, but again, you only have 10 seconds to do all that rotations, so unless you're comfortable with it, saving the weapons buff for when she pops back onto the field is generally safer, because after her Q, you're going to reapply the Sakuras anyway. On a different note, keep in mind that her Sakuras doesn't snapshot, so don't worry about on-field buffs like Bennett. In terms of artifacts, she's really flexible for now. The best is to go with an 18% attack bonus with another 18% attack bonus, or trade one set for Electro. I am using the Electro because I have better substats. 2-piece Noblest isn't bad, and 4-piece Emblem is fine, just know you'll sacrifice her E damage for a stronger Q. If you are using 4-piece Emblem, make sure you have high ER to really benefit from the buff, but don't neglect your attack percentage and crit percentage stats. If you're really struggling using her burst even with a second Electro character, then you can equip an ER Sans. Just know you'll trade damage for energy, and it all depends on what you want. I went with the typical DPS build, attack percentage, Electro, and crit. She's of course at C0, I wish I was a whale, but sadly I'm not. Talents are 6, 7, 7, I need to kick the Shogun's ass a few more times to get the materials. You'll rarely use her normals unless she's your on-field DPS, but Yae Miko is best suited as an off-field attacker. Now, one thing I don't like about her normals is that it's slow, more specifically her charge attacks. To me, maybe not to you, it's just my perspective, it's a bit slower than other charge attacks, but at least it looks cool. Just so we're on the same page, here are my stats: decent crit rate and damage. Of course, ER is meh. So another problem with Yae Miko, other than her energy cost, is that she does take time to set up. Like I said, you have to put 3 turrets, buff with support, switch back to Q, and reapply the turrets. So about 10 seconds or so because of burst animations, and of course it depends on who you're using as support, as opposed to, let's say, Fischl, who just needs to tap Q or E after support buffs. Now, it's not really a huge deal, at least to me, but I can understand meta players' perspective and complaints, especially players who count every second and prioritize time. But like, a few seconds lost isn't really going to kill you in Abyss. Like, you'll still be able to 3-star. Like, sure, you may not be able to complete Abyss in like 30 seconds, but like finishing in a minute and a couple seconds afterwards isn't that bad. Unless you can't 3-star the round, then yeah, those extra time will hurt you, I won't lie. But that's more so a you problem. I'm just joking. Important thing to remember, Sakura placement is very important. Make sure they are close to each other for increased damage. You can actually see that they're connected. So don't run around like a crazy maniac and place them far apart because they won't receive the skill bonus. So the most important question is, should you pull for Yae Miko? Best course of action, honestly, is to wait for the last week of her banner. There has been many cases where everyone shits on a character, Shogun, Kokomi, Kazuha, and they end up being amazing. Not sure about Kokomi, I don't have her yet, but I've read she's amazing. It's better to wait and see, maybe a meta player will find a use for her, but as of right now, if you are a meta player who can easily 3-star Abyss already, no, she's not necessary. If you can't 3-star Abyss, Yae Miko isn't the unit who will suddenly make the game easy. Though she's not going to break the game, she isn't as bad or as horrendous as a unit as some people say she is. Yes, she has problems, but she does have some strengths like her burst and turrets as well. That's to me a balanced character. Now, if you were to ask me, is she worth spending like $200 on? Me personally, no. Because I could buy something with that, but that's up to you. Funny, because I say that now, but I would have spent $200 to $300 to summon her if I didn't have these saved Primo Gems. Just because she's, you know, a waifu. You got to admit, MiHoYo knows their target audience. I personally find her fun to use. Now, the general community will say to skip her if you have a C6 Fischl. Fischl's attacks are a lot quicker, but Yae Miko's burst is a lot stronger, so apples and oranges. If your Fischl or Beidou is working wonderfully, then you don't really need Yae Miko, even though each character is different. In the end, there's nothing wrong with pulling for Yae Miko. You'll find uses for her. With good support, you can take on challenging missions as well. But if you're looking for a character that will suddenly improve your team or make your account a lot stronger, she's not going to be that unit. So until we get maybe new artifacts set specifically for her, or Electro as a whole improves, save your Primo Gems, save your Intertwined Fates. Unless you love Yae Miko, then absolutely go for her. As we all say, waifu and husbandos over gameplay. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video. Hit that thumbs up if you like, and subscribe to my channel for future Genshin Impact videos. So a quick summary, go for Yae Miko if you really like her. For gameplay wise, she's quite fun to use, at least to me. Not everyone will agree, but if you're looking for the next broken or meta character, she's not really going to add or make your teams a lot stronger. If you're struggling with Abyss, she's not going to make it any easier. At least for now, we never know what the future may hold. But if you're already easily beating Abyss, then again, she's not really going to add too much. If you have the money, if you have the gems, go for her, or save for Raiden Shogun or Kazuha, who is rumored to be having a rerun. Don't know yet. Maybe, of course, Ayaka and Ayato. Well, I think Ayaka should have a rerun in the future because her freaking brother's in it. But again, these are just rumors. Ayato being confirmed, obviously, but Kazuha and Ayaka, we don't know yet. And those two are amazing units. So if you haven't checked out my top 3 5-stars you must summon this year, or have in general, check that video out. As always, good luck on your summons. Have an amazing day.